T-Level Digital Production, Design and Development, tlevelresources.co.uk. 1.2.1. Understand what algorithms are and how they are expressed. Flowcharts, written descriptions, pseudocode, and program code. An algorithm is a step-by-step procedure to solve a problem or accomplish a task. Flowcharts, these are visual representations of steps. For example, a flowchart outlining a login process. Written descriptions, detailed written instructions. For example, a recipe. Pseudocode, this is a simplified, non-language specific programming notation. For example, if user input correct, then access granted. Program code, specific programming language code. For example, Python, C and Java. A flowchart is a type of diagram that represents a workflow or process. It can be defined as a diagrammatic representation of an algorithm, a step-by-step approach to solving a task. It shows the steps as boxes of various kinds and their order by connecting the boxes with arrows. Flowchart symbols. The oval represents the start or end of a process. The parallelogram represents the input or output of information. The diamond represents a decision or branching point or a decision. The typical answers are yes or no. The rectangle represents a task or activity. This is also known as a process. Some activity task process done in the background that might or might not produce an output. The arrow connects symbols and shows flow and direction. A written description algorithm is a way of describing an algorithm using natural language. It is a free-form method of writing algorithms, and there is no specific format that is required. However, there are some general guidelines that can be followed to make written description algorithms more readable and understandable. Some written description guidelines. Use short, clear sentences. Avoid using technical jargon or abbreviations. Use indentation to group related steps together. Pseudocode is a way of describing an algorithm using a mixture of natural language and programming language constructs. It is a free-form method of writing algorithms, and there is no specific format that is required. However, there are some general guidelines that can be followed to make pseudocode more readable and understandable. Some pseudocode guidelines. Use short, clear sentences. Avoid using technical jargon or abbreviations. Use indentation to group related steps together. Should read like a mix between code and an outline. Should focus on the sequence of steps rather than precise details. Some common pseudocode keywords are start and end, input, output, while, for, repeat until, if, then and else. Check these out on the BBC Bitesize website. Pseudocode start and end. Start. This keyword marks the beginning of the algorithm. End. This keyword marks the end of the algorithm. Pseudocode input. Used to get input from the user. For example, asking a user to enter their name or age into a system. Pseudocode output. Used to output something, like printing text to the screen. For example, you entered your name as Mike. Pseudocode while. This keyword is used to create a loop that will continue to execute as long as the condition is true. Pseudocode for and repeat until. Begins a for loop to repeat code. Repeat until. Starts a repeat loop that iterates a fixed number of times. Pseudocode if, then and else. If the if keyword is used to create a conditional statement that will execute the specified code if the condition is true. Then the then keyword indicates the code to run if the condition is true. Else. The else keyword is used to create an alternative block of code that will execute if the condition is false. Else is normally used as a final catch for all other conditions. Program code. A program code is a set of instructions that a computer can understand and execute. It is written in a programming language, which is a set of rules that define how code is written and interpreted by a computer. Program code can be used to create a variety of different programs, such as games, websites, and applications. It is used to tell the computer what to do and how to do it, using instructions specific to that programming language and operating system. Many programming languages are now cross-platform, meaning they can work on multiple operating systems.